Okay. Let's see if we can get everything going this morning. There it shows we're live. Okay. So we can get some comment this morning. Get some people in here. Get things rocking and rolling. Did I get a? Yeah, there it is. All right, let's see. Hey guys. Hey Joy. Hey Jamie. Hey Greg. Hey Fleet Tech. How are you this morning? Yeah, getting everybody jumping in. Hey Aaron. Good morning. Glad to see everybody jumping in here, rocking and rolling early this morning. I'm still messing with my green screen, trying to get my backgrounds right and everything. It's uh, it's a work in progress, so I hope y'all understand that. Trying to get everything so it's more usable and a little more entertaining, I guess, like that. Uh, I guess everybody can see my title. We had a little bit of tragedy. Those of you that are friends with me on Facebook uh, know what happened. Last Sunday, we after I had the broadcast, uh, we found that my mother-in-law had fallen and she had had a stroke. And unfortunately, hey Jerry, uh, and unfortunately, she didn't make it. Uh, she uh, passed away last Friday after being in the hospital for about 5 days. So we've got a little family tragedy there. Of course, my mother-in-law was 92 years old, so she had lived a good long life, and so she, uh, uh, you know, did did everything you possibly could do in 92 years. She was a lovely woman. She was a good mother, good mother-in-law, and yeah, and Barbara's mother passed away, like I said, this past Friday. We're going to have the funeral on Wednesday with all the COVID situations and all kind of stuff. They have to take a lot more precautions now. So it's one of those situations that we uh, getting families together, and we have a large family. My wife is one of five children. She has a brother and three sisters. So we've got a large uh, family. And hey, T. Paul, yeah. Uh, so it's going to be a tough week this week. Yeah, well, I appreciate it, everybody giving the condolences and everything to Barbara and her mother and brother and sisters and everything. It's like I said, it's going to be a tough week. I lost a good friend, one of my best friends, a week and a half ago, and then I lost my mother-in-law Friday. So it's been a tragic couple of weeks for us. It's been tough. I mean, you hate to lose good friends and family like that so quickly, but it does happen. It does happen, and it's part of life. Uh, you know, Unfortunately, dying is part of our life process and everything. All of us are going to go through it all the time up there in Maine. Uh, but I do appreciate, like I said, all the sympathy, and I've had a lot of people reach out to us through Facebook and other media and everything that gave their condolences. And it's part of life. It's like I said, we're all going to go through it. My uh, my mother-in-law was a very thoughtful person, and uh, I'm going to read a poem that she had left out for things to be read. So I'm going to be reading a poem. My son and grandson are going to be pallbearers, along with other uh, grandsons and nephews and son-in-laws and things like that. So we're all taking a part of this. My sister-in-law is she's gonna be part of. She's always played for the church at her church, so she's gonna be playing the piano and organ at during the not buffering in Oklahoma. Okay. No buffering. Okay, buffering now. Okay. Well, I hope everything's coming through good. I've got a good signal here, so I hope everything comes through good. I always try to have a good signal and a good picture, and I try to put the best foot forward, put the best cameras and microphones and everything that I can afford. Hopefully, everything sounds good and looks good to everybody. Uh, I know it's aggravating when you don't have that, so that's why I try to have that every chance I can. Now, this green screen, it's a work in progress, so I'm still trying to get all this worked out so it looks better and so I can have some different backgrounds and different things like that. I mean, I can uh, uh, switch up backgrounds and switch up things, and if I want to put something else I want to advertise or not really advertise so much. I'm not much into advertising, but anything that I've got like that I want to put up, I'm gonna try to have it so I can do some things. But what's going on with everybody else? I hate to start off everything with a sad note, but I thought I would just get that out there because that is a big part of what's going on with us. And anytime you've got funerals involved in the family, it's tough. And this one's extremely tough on my wife. My wife has had a very hard time this week. But, I don't want to be a sad sack out here. There's a lot more other things going on in life. There's a lot of good things going on. And let's talk about the positive. But I did want to get that behind me a little bit. And, but I want to talk about the positive things too in life. We've got a lot of product that we're going to be reviewing and doing some things on. I've been putting up some of my FedEx videos. I've had a lot of people with the FedEx community that wanted some ideas, and I've had a lot of people reach out to me through Facebook and other media about putting information about FedEx. All right, I don't know what happened there, guys. Lost me for a second. Uh, okay, I guess the signal. I don't know. I guess the signal went funky there for a minute. Thank you, JD. Thank you, JD. Uh, but I hope the signal's real good. It looks like it is now. I don't know. You never can tell about technology. It looked like it went out for a second there on this end, so I don't know what happened on y'all's end. Uh, but I'm trying to, like I said, have a lot of different uh, things out there, reviewing stuff with FedEx, reviewing some tools, reviewing. You had bad weather, bad lightning last night. Wow. Now T-Paul, re- refresh me now. You're not too far from me, I don't believe. Aren't you in the mountains of North Carolina, or am I getting my bearings? I don't have a notebook up here listing everything, so it's just from memory that I try to remember where everybody's at. I know Jamie's up in Massachusetts, and Jerry, I think is. I'm trying to think. Is it Alabama, Jerry, or Georgia? I can't remember. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a familiar sight for me for sure. Uh, South Carolina mountains, Table Rock. Okay, okay, I got you. Kansas City for Jerry. Okay, yeah, all right. And JD, now where JD, you're fairly close by too, aren't you? Uh, I mean, I've got several that live fairly close to me, and I think, and Walter, let's see, now Walter, everybody kind of refresh, and I try to put this in this old brain where everybody's at. So I like seeing the different spots and everything. I'm gonna, let's see, Jerry's in Kansas City, and T-Paul's in South Carolina Mountains, Table Rock. All right. Yeah, I know, Aaron. But I like to, just uh, you know, keep up with everybody and where everybody's from and where what everybody's doing, those sort of things, and see what all's involved. And like I said, I hated to start off this morning with a sad note, but it needed to be put out there too. Uh, I mean, it's not a weekly occurrence. It's a lifetime occurrence, and so it's something that needs to be put out there and explained to people because that's what's happening. That's what's happening, and you have to live with it. Uh, Life goes on. Walter's in Michigan. Okay, yeah. I have to. I had to put all these, uh, like I said, a picture of these maps in my brain where everybody's at. I used to be real good on maps when I was driving and everything. And my wife, still to this day, I mean, she's amazed that uh, I used to be able. Drivers would call me and they'd say, "Yeah, I'm on I-85 at mile marker so and so," and I say, "Oh yeah, you're up there close to the Love's truck stop or something like that." And she says, "How do you know that?" I said, "Well, when you travel the road as many times that I have, you get a picture in your mind where every exit, what every restaurant, every truck stop, e- everything that's going on in your life. I mean, it burns a picture in your mind, and that's what I try to do on this too. I try to with everybody. Yes, my mother-in-law passed, Chris. Yeah, yeah. She had a stroke last Sunday, and then she didn't make it. She passed on Friday. Okay, yeah, okay. Home of Crook Motors. Yeah, I know Crook Motors. Yeah, Crook Motors. For those of you that don't know where Crook Motors is, it's a big uh, used truck lot and everything. They have a ton of used trucks, and they advertise a lot and put out their own magazine and that sort of stuff. So I get Crook's magazine to this day too because I'm a uh, I've been a subscriber of theirs for years. Never have bought anything from them, but it's always good for me for price comparison. So I always liked having their magazine so I could see what things, what the open market's going for and everything. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough on the wife. My wife is she's she has three sisters. Actually, they're half sisters. Uh, uh, her father's first wife was killed tragically in a car accident um, after he had three daughters, and then he remarried my mother-in-law, uh, and they had two more children, my wife and her brother, and so yeah, this was her mother, and this was really tough on her. Uh, yeah, that was them on Facebook. Her three sisters and her brother. We're a pretty close family too. I mean, even though they were half sisters, they were raised by my mother-in-law. The oldest one, when my father-in-law remarried, was only like 12 or 13 years old, and then the others were small. They were like 8 or 9, and then I think the youngest was like 4 or 5. So she raised them through adulthood, and everybody stayed close and everything like that, and never did try to. It never was a separate family, so to speak, like some families get when they're remarriages and everything. But it's tough, and oh yeah, my mother-in-law, we had to. Uh, we had to take her license away from her just about a year and a half, 2 years ago. She was getting a little dangerous out there at 90, and so we had to take her driving privileges away. I let my brother-in-law do that. I always told him, I said, I'm not going to be the one to take her driving privileges away. But in the process, my daughter sort of was nursing her the whole time too, and really helped extend her life because my daughter, we let her take care of my mother-in-law. She was over there 4 or 5 times a day. She worked for us, but she would also go over and visit with her uh, grandmother. Uh, she lived right. We have a pond that's in between where our house and she is. So we had just all here on the family farm, and it was a good setup. And my daughter took care of her grandmother religiously, and my daughter is the one that found her last Sunday, collapsed. She had fallen, had the stroke, and fallen on top of her walker. She was up getting something to uh, drink and everything. So it's one of those situations. So it's really tough, and it's uh, it's not something that you it happens, but uh, it, you don't want that much. I mean, it's tough. Yes, it can. Our family is really not a greedy family. They My mother-in-law and my father-in-law, when he was alive, they had everything spelled out exactly how they wanted everything in the will. We've already looked at the will, and she's donated to the college and the church and a lot of different things like that. Things that she wanted to do with her money, that she wanted to give, because all of our family have done well financially. I mean, there's no children or grandchildren or whatever that are struggling, and so we're fortunate in that respect. And that's everything. She had everything down to a T. She has her funeral, everything. I'm going to be reading a poem that she liked. Like I said, my sister-in-law is going to be playing the piano. We got one of my nephews is a Lutheran minister. He's going to be taking part of the service. Uh, just everything down to a T. We got everything playing, which is good. Yeah, yeah. My daughter, she's really taking it hard because she was so close with her grandmother. I mean, she actually has seen her grandmother more than my wife and I have over the past couple of years. I mean, she was over there 4 or 5 times a day, was a caretaker, made sure she took all of her medicine, made sure she did everything right so she could live at home. And that was her desire, is to live at home. She didn't want to go to a nursing home by any shape or imagination. Yeah, yeah, nursing homes suck. I mean, I don't. I've never seen a single. It could be the fanciest one you've ever seen, but in my opinion, just like what Chris said, they suck. I mean, they don't. There's nobody going to give the care. Hey, Ag Tech, how are you? Yeah, yeah. No one's going to give the care that a family member, if they love someone, is going to give them, and that's what we've run into. And like I said, uh, we're happy that my daughter uh, was able to do that for my mother-in-law, and 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 was happy to do it. She was really happy to do it, so it was great. And my mother-in-law lived a long life. Like I said, 92 years old. She would have been 93 in October, and so it's been good. Yeah, it's we before she passed on Friday, we were already making plans for hospice or care after the hospital. But uh, and I guess you would say, fortunately for her, she went ahead. She passed in the hospital under all the care that she possibly could have gotten. Uh, so it worked out good. And that was one of her things. She was fevering about. She did not want to go to a rest home, and we have a rest home just that adjoins our land here. Right behind my shop is a major rest home. And when my mother-in-law had hip surgery and had to do rehab, we put her in this rest home, and she hated it. It was, oh, she couldn't wait to get out. So I think we did the right thing. Yeah, it's nice to have them for people that can't, but people that you know, it's never going to be home. That's the thing, and it's something that yeah. Well, Ag Tech. That's about the way it was with my mother-in-law. I mean, I think I think she knew that her condition had really gotten bad. Well, she was unconscious somewhat. She couldn't communicate. When she had this stroke, it gave her paralysis on her right side, and they did all kind of tests and CAT scans and uh, everything else, and she had a blood clot on the brain, and it was inoperable, of course, at her age. So she did the best she could do, and I think that she knew that she was going to have to go to some sort of care. I think she gave up. Of course, her heart gave out. She was 92. She was, like I said, she was going through some rough times. Yeah, and I think I hope I can go at home. I don't want to. I don't want to have to go to some facility. That's my preference. And my dad was that way. My dad, of course, dad died in the hospital, but he was always that way. And unfortunately, my mother did have to go to a rest home, and she had Alzheimer's, and when you're in that situation, when you have Alzheimer's or dementia, it's it's a situation that they can't take care of themselves, or they do things dangerous, and then it's beyond your control, and then you basically do have to put them in a rest home, and it's tough. It's a gut wrenching thing to do. Yeah, yeah. It's my mother-in-law. My father-in-law passed away 33 years ago, so she lived alone for 33 years. But we tried to accommodate her. Like I said, we live across the pond from her, and they had a small summer cabin. So when her husband passed, they sold the big house uptown. She moved in the cabin across the pond from us, and we remodeled it and fixed it nice so she could enjoy it. And that's where we were in that. Yeah, yeah. Dementia's tough. It's Hey James, how are you? Yeah, old age is it's difficult. I mean, we're all going through it. I mean, I'm a man getting ready to turn 70 in a couple of months, and I used to think 70 was really really old, and now I don't. I'm thinking I don't feel that old, and I try not to act that old. Uh, yeah. Well, Casey will have to find that out because Barbara had to find that out, Chris. This past year when I had my heart attack and open heart surgery, my wife had to. My wife stepped up to the pump. She did a magnificent job. Uh, she got me back on track. I've lost 32 pounds. I'm healthier now than I have been in years. Uh, and it is because of the caretaking that I got from my wife. And had I been a loner and been by myself, I wouldn't be here now. Uh, it takes a good partner, and it's hard to get a good partner. It's when you have a good partner in life, hang on to them. It means a lot more than riches and gold and everything else. It's life, and I've got a great partner. And so, you've got to you got to take everything in consideration there. I mean, what's the most important things in life? Yeah. Now, my mother never lost memory. She would get things confused. My mother would remember real good things that happened 30 years ago with her and dad and us boys. But she couldn't remember what happened last week. And that short term memory is what goes on a lot of them real quick. Yeah. I mean, I couldn't roll on my side, Chris. That's one of the things when we actually had to get one of the lift chairs for me because I couldn't. Being big like I am, it was hard for Barbara to help me get up. So we bought one of the lift chairs to get me up and down. We're not using it now, of course, but we've got it for future reference, and it's a great feature. But it had to we had to get it at the time because of the fact that it was almost impossible. And I didn't want to pin her down so much that I couldn't get up and go to the bathroom or something like that, uh, and had to call on her all the time. So it was a good thing to have. Yes, short term memory is usually what goes on people with dementia or Alzheimer's, and so you can get scared when you can't remember what you were thinking of last week, or if you can't remember what you ate last week or something. Yeah, yeah. Some of us might need an elevator, tow motor. I've thought of all the mechanical things that I may need. Yeah, yeah. I know it. Like I said, so many of that happens to our mothers. Now that's the great thing about my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law, her mind was as sharp as a tack right up till last week when she passed. I mean, she knew everything. She knew what she wanted to do. She would order us around. I mean, she knew what she knew what was supposed to go on. So it was not a it was a great thing that she was that way. Like I said, and in a way, I felt like I lost my mother early on because of the fact that she um, my mother. Her mind was gone, and we lost communication with her several years before she died. I mean, she could remember old things, but like I said, current things. I mean, we could go in there, and she would think, "Well, why haven't you been here?" Well, I was there last week, and she couldn't remember it. And those sort of things. Yeah, and life is going to change, and we got to adapt to everything out there. And I don't want to. It's tough, and I'm trying to get myself back physically fit. Like I said, I've lost the weight. I'm for you guys that know pant size. I went from a 42 pants to a 36 pants, so I've slimmed down, at least waist down. I have. I still got some upper body stuff. Still got more chins than I like, but as far as losing some of the gut and the beefiness, I guess, on my butt and legs and everything. I've lost some of that. Yeah, sitting around's hard. Yeah, that's why I like to get up and do some things. I've been busy this week mowing and getting things ready for spring and summer. I've got a lot on my plate as far as things I want to do and things I'm going to do and that sort of stuff. Yeah, these meds, and that's one thing I'm very proud of my daughter that she went over and made sure that her grandmother was getting her meds right because that is one thing, regardless of your condition. And if you start getting your meds out of whack, then you're going to go downhill. And that's we've seen that on so many of them. And my daughter was adamant on making sure that her grandmother got her meds right, and so we feel good about that, and we felt that really we feel that my daughter and my wife and I were talking about this probably helped extend my mother-in-law's life a couple of years as far as being in a healthy situation and being able to help her. But you know, that's medication as we get older. I take a decent amount now. I used to take zero, and I always used to kind of brag about that I was taking no medicine whatsoever at my age. And now I'm taking metformin, and I take some cholesterol, but everything's in line though. That is a good thing. Everything with my meds are in line, and all my blood work looks good. And I've had blood work done a couple of times, and I've gone to all my doctors, all the way down to my urologist and everything. So things are looking better. Yes, my mother-in-law passed away this past Friday. She had a stroke. Actually, we found her after I got off last Sunday's broadcast. My daughter called me and called my wife and said she found her grandmother collapsed when she went in to check on her Sunday morning, and she had had a stroke and fallen, and we had to get the ambulance out, and unfortunately she didn't make it. She lived about 5 or 6 days in the hospital, but kept getting weaker and everything. So that's that's what happened. But it's a sad part of life, but it's something that every one of us out here are going to go through. I mean, we're all going to lose family members, some closer than others. It's tough to do, but we try to get through it. It's been tough for me this week, trying to make sure that I'm accommodating my wife. I got to check my nose there a little bit. I was reading Walter's. I guess I ought to put it on the screen sometimes. Another way I can read it straight up. It's Walter. You got your Mary Kay, your aunt. That's not the Mary Kay of Mary Kay Cosmetics, I assume. If it was, you got a rich aunt. Well, she's not. That Mary Kay's gone now, but that Mary Kay Cosmetics. I always think, every time I think of that, I had a guy that I worked with when I worked at Carolina Freight. His wife started in that Mary Kay. I'm gonna put Chris's up there. I know it, and that's how quick something like this can happen, Chris. Uh, yeah, it's tough. It really is. It's tough. It's tough. Yeah, not that Mary Kay. Okay, I just think I was thinking if Walter has that Mary Kay in his family, he's got a rich family, and everything he got's pink. uh, but yeah, but like I was saying, I had a good friend that I worked with at Carolina Freight, and his wife, and I remember and this was back late 60s, early 70s. His wife was starting with that Mary Kay, and we would kid Harold and everything every once in a while about he would drive. She got good, and she got a pink Cadillac. Well, it got to be he got a brand new pink Cadillac every year, and she got to be one of the big people in Mary Kay. Yeah, well, my generation had to work, Chris, and unfortunately, some of the millennials and I don't know what you call the others coming up, like my grandson, but there's a lot that don't have the work ethic. That's one thing that I'm trying to uh, make sure that my grandson has a good work ethic, and that he will try his best to do what's best and do the right thing. So far, so good. He's studying hard and doing good, and I'm very proud of him. But it does take a generation like ours and a lot of people they'll fuss at the boomers. I'm of the boomer generation. They'll say, "Okay, boomer." Well, I say okay, boomer too, because our generation's a good generation. We worked hard. We've made something. We came through. We came through with some. We had. I got an itchy nose, like they say. Maybe somebody's coming when you got that itchy nose. But you know, when you have a generation that uh, had to learn to work, and I came up through that. I mean, I had to work. My dad said, you want a car? You can have any car you want that you can afford. So that meant I had to get out to save some money to buy my first car. And Dad was fair. He said, I got four boys. I can't afford to buy each one of you a car. Each one of you can afford to learn to work. So all four of us, we did that. We took jobs while we were still in high school. While we worked on the farm. My mom and dad had a farm along with us living. Well, we were self sufficient. We had cows, chickens, hogs, everything. Grew our own garden. So we had a very efficient uh, family lifestyle, and that in itself that helped mom and dad, and helped tremendously because we were four growing boys. We were hard to feed. I can tell you that. We ate a lot of food, and when I think back about it, I would hate to have to go to the grocery store and buy everything at a grocery store. Hey Zach, good day. Good day from down under. So it's already, what is it, midnight out there almost, or 10 or 11 o'clock in Australia. Is it Australia or New Zealand, Zach? Refresh me again. I always confuse where you're at. Oh yeah, we do that, and that's the way a lot of yeah. Well, yeah, we have to. My first vehicle was a. I'm gonna have to sneeze, guys. Hold on a second. Phew. Oh man, I hope y'all didn't catch anything. I covered up, but 11:40 Australia. Crocodile Dundee. Crocodile Zach. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, we've got too much of that now, Chris. I mean, think about it. I mean, we're creating an atmosphere right now. Uh, we're creating an atmosphere out there where I don't know what you want to say. We're going to be like, they tell you that there's a sign. Gosh, I got some hay fever or something this morning. I'm sorry, guys. I'm about to sneeze myself to death. But they tell you, there's the reason they put up signs at parks and everything. Don't feed the bears or don't feed the animals, is because, like bears, when you're in a national park, you don't want to feed them because if you do, everybody comes by with a car. That those bears will start looking for cars coming by. Yeah, that's the generation we got. That's sure. Yeah, we got Zach from down under, and we got Ag Tech from Canada. Yeah, yeah, yep. Hard work is the key to a lot of things. It really is. Yep, it really is. Oh God, I tell you what, guys, I got to blow my nose. I've got something that I know that's not the most attractive thing to see on the screen, but I had to do that. I was just, you know, our family has cried and about wore our noses out this week. Wiping our nose and I know it's tough. Yeah, but oh gosh, I don't know what I'm going to do. This allergy is just getting to me. But guys, I tell you what, I'm gonna probably get off of here because my allergies are kicking in, and I know I need to get down and deal with some family things. I've enjoyed talking to everybody this morning. I got to sneeze again. Phew. Oh man, I hope you can understand, but this is it's kind of getting to me. I don't know what's here in the building or whatever, but I've got a little bit of allergy along with everything else. Yep. So guys, y'all take care. I'm gonna go ahead and end the broadcast. Yeah, I need to take a Claritin or something. Yeah, that's what I need to do, Chris. Y'all take care. I appreciate everybody jumping in here this morning, and I'll see y'all next week.